Hey Coach, before we jump into this week's video, make sure you go to flagfootballwithcoachd.com. You can grab 10% off by clicking here and subscribing, but let me give you some quick recommendations. Number one, if you're a new coach, you have to grab the complete new coach bundle. It comes with offense, defense, drills, practices, everything. Plus you'll get wristbands, all the equipment that you need right there. If you don't need equipment or wristbands, you can grab the complete new coach pack instead. Another thing that's super popular, the plug and play bundle. If you're looking for offense plays and wristbands, that is the one you need. If you don't want wristbands at all, just want the offense, the drills, the practices, get the complete coach package, and that's a must. If you just want wristbands, nothing else, you can grab those here. If you're looking for equipment, everything you see in my videos, from footballs to flags to the clipboard, all of that can be found under equipment. And then look, if you're looking to customize, you want to mix and match my plays and build your own playbook, that's the play builder right here. I will import any plays that you grab from me so you can mix and match and customize, then print it out for the wristbands, 1 per page, 4 per page, etc. Look, jump over to flagfootballwithcoachd.com. Everything comes in 5v5, 6v6, or 7v7. I've got your back. Now let's jump into this week's video.
Hey everyone, this is Coach D, and today I have a treat for you. Today I'm going to break down all of the defense and offense positions. Who do I put in what spot and why? What am I looking for, and how can I identify strengths so I know exactly where to put people so that I can dominate on offense and defense? Let's start with our defense. Now I've mapped out a few positions out here. In another video, I'll show you different formations, but for now, let's start with our linebackers. About 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, which is right here, you're gonna have your linebackers right here. Now coach, if you are doing what I call the Husker, where you have a 1-3-1 or something similar with 6v6 or 7v7, then you usually have one linebacker 3 yards off the ball right here in the middle. Now this will be your dominant flag puller. You've done the centipede, the gauntlet, you've done all the flag pulling drills, and this person right here just dominates. What they're doing is they're going to shut down that run every single time. They have a nose for the ball. They can see the fakes, they can see everything, and they are a force. They can go across the field anywhere, and this is my dominant flag puller. Now let's say I'm doing a 2-3 or a 2-2-1, then I'm going to have linebackers here and here about 3 yards off the ball. Now, this person right here could be a little new. Maybe they're not as athletic, but what I want them to do is I want them to get as big as they possibly can, and I want them to cheat this way so that they're what's called containing the sideline. I want them to get as big as possible. I call it Red Rover, Red Rover. Nobody's getting by here, so I have them containing the sideline, popped out just like this. Can they pull flags? I'm okay if they're not the best flag puller, but what I do want them to do is get in the way. So what I tell them and what I tell their parents is throughout the week, I just want you to get as big as possible, and I want you to just go like this as much, no matter where you are, in the kitchen, at school, anywhere. I just want you to get big and get in the way. So both of these sides, these are called linebackers, right? And these are going to be my get in the way, contain the sideline. And what they're doing is they're forcing the player in towards my other players. Now behind them is what's called a cornerback or a defensive back. That's this side and that side. Now what I like to do is if I'm going to have a beginner player or not the strongest player in front, then I need to back them up with a stronger player here. You never want to have weak and weak, otherwise they're going to dominate you on offense and you're done. So make sure this is a stronger player if you have somebody newer or not as strong here. Now this is my person who can backpedal, who can stay with the wide receiver, who has really good hands, who has some agility, and who can go up and do what's called a contested catch. They can go up and they can take the ball out of the sky. Maybe they're a little bit taller, maybe they can jump, but they are almost like a wide receiver. They're able to go toe-to-toe with that wide receiver. That is your defensive back, or that's your cornerback. That's on this side and that side. Some drills that I like to work on with them is for them to be able to backpedal, turn, and run with a wide receiver and then go up. I also like to do interception drills with these cornerbacks or with these DBs to make sure they can get in front and take that ball and go for it. These are usually about 7 to 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. And that leads us to our middle linebacker here. And this is also my rusher, my blitzer. Usually in youth flag football, they have to be 7 yards off the ball. And what I like to do with this person is put them either to the right or the left of the center, because they're going to be going after that quarterback on their strong side, attacking and being able to do what's called the snow plow. I get to the quarterback, I do a snow plow, I either go for flags, I get big, but I don't just run right past them, right? What I want to do is be either on the right or the left of that center so that I'm coming right at you. So this middle linebacker is going to be your rusher. Now, you can choose whether to rush or not. Now, I recommend you only rush if you're able to get inside the head and impact that quarterback. If that quarterback is just making one quick move and boom, they're taking advantage of the gap that's happening here, then you want to hold back that rusher and not blitz. You want to keep them in coverage in the middle of the field. So your rusher needs to have some speed. They have to have quickness. They have to be able to flag pull, right? They have to be able to stop on a dime, right? Flag pull or get really big, but they have to be super quick. Right? I have to be able to, within seconds, run, kind of scare them, right? Be able to stop on a dime, pull that flag, right? And intimidate the quarterback. That's what you're looking for here. They can also, if they're in coverage, they can move, right? All over the field. They have that field awareness to see where things are happening. That's your middle linebacker or your rusher. Now let's look at our safeties. Now again, if you're 5v5 and let's say you're doing maybe a 2-3, then your safety is popped back a little bit. Maybe you're doing a 1-3-1. But either way, this is what's called the monster. These right back here, these are your safeties. These are the ones that are probably your best athletes. They're able to see across the field. I call it field awareness. And they're able to move all across the field, east and west, north and south. They're able to see things. This is about 10, maybe even 15 yards back. This person also has incredible football acumen. They can see what's going to happen. What that means is they're able to see, okay, that wide receiver's coming this way. I'm going to cover over here while this is covered. They can see like what's the strategy that the offense is taking. What is the route that's being run over here? If they're doing a trips, which side should I be on? They just have this natural ability to figure things out. If I have a speedster over here and they're going to be beating my cornerback, then I want to be able to support over here while I still have an eye on that side. So they need to have complete field awareness. At the same time, if they see a handoff, they can quickly pursue and pull that flag. So this person is a natural leader on your team. They usually have quickness all across the field. They have a great vision and field awareness, as well as that football acumen. And of course, nobody gets behind them. So I'm doing wide receiver, DB, cornerback drills with them. They are backpedaling. They are also turning. And then at the same point, they can cut all the way across the field and pursue, boom, on a dime. I would not recommend having a brand new player in the back here if you have a more experienced player. So to recap, I have my linebackers about 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. Then I have my cornerbacks on either side, my DBs. Then I also have my rusher or my middle linebacker right here about 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. And then back here, I have my safeties going east and west all over the field. They're about 10 to 12 yards back. And if I have an offense that's throwing a lot and going deep, I may even bring them back about 15 yards just so they have a full vision of the entire field. All right, now let's talk about offense, right? What you're gonna have is you have your center right here on the line of scrimmage. You're gonna have wide receivers, and depending on your offense, how many you have, 5v5, 6v6, 7v7, it will all depend on the formations, but let's just talk simply. I've got wide receivers on either side, and then I've got my quarterback back here, and then I've got, let's say, B here, which is my number 1 running back, and then I've got A here, which is my number 2 running back. So let's talk about it. My center is usually going to be they're not as athletic. Maybe they're brand new, but we do want to give them an opportunity. There's some effort there. So I'm going to put my center as maybe that newer kid, right? A little bit hungry, wants the ball every once in a while. And what I like to do is I like them to go about 3 to 5 yards and be that check down, right? So you'll see on my plays, I have a lot of little routes where the center is going short, so I can have either a dump off or I can distract the defense so that they see every once in a while I'm going to pass to that center. So you want to feed this center every once in a while so you can open up your offense. Now my wide receivers, depending on the age, I might pop them out even more, maybe 5, 10 yards out, depending on, especially if I'm trying to spread out the defense, then I might have them even further out. But this person right here, this is usually what I call C. It could be D or E in my other playbooks. This is the one that can run incredible routes. They have some great cutting and quickness ability, and their hands are incredible. Go up for the ball. They take route running seriously, because most of the plays are going to develop right when they cut, and then boom, they get it. They don't have to be the tallest every time, but when you throw it, they find a way to catch it. Now let's talk about our number 1 running back. This is in my playbook, it's called B. This is the person, when you give it to them, they can cut up and down the field. They find that sideline. They do all those running back moves like the dip, they can do the quarter turn, they can do all of that and make people miss. They don't have to have the best hands, but their quickness is unbelievable, and you cannot catch their flags. That's your number 1 running back that you're looking for. So let's talk about our running back 2. This is A in my playbook. This is the faker in my world, right? If I'm gonna, fake, let's say here, and then B's gonna get it, A has to make it so that everybody thinks that they have the ball. They also need to be able to go out on the flat and get their attention. I also like them for almost a tight end, where they're able to, like Kelsey does, find a gap in the defense, and then they get open and boom, it's a surprise. They have hands, not as shifty as B is, but they can fake, and they fully understand and appreciate being a decoy so that the rest of the play can develop. So they're selfless. Now let's talk about that quarterback. This again is your natural leader on the field. This player needs to be able to understand the playbook. They can look at the play and they can visualize where everybody should be. They should be able to communicate and say, okay, pop out just a little bit. Just go out a little bit further. Okay, just go out here. They're also going to be communicating with the wide receivers, the running back, the center, to correct them on little things, right? In a positive way. So they have to gain buy-in from the rest of their players. Now, if they see, okay, we miscommunicated on that, they own that. Even if they're in like 3rd grade, they're able to own it. And then the next time they're able to adjust. When you talk to them, they're getting it. They see it. They see the play, they know how it's going to develop. Now, as they grow older, you want to be able to have a decision maker back here. Because let's say I've got 3 wide receivers, you've already told them, I want you to look at 1, 2, and then 3. They need to be able to do that in 3 seconds or less. I call it the 1, 2, 3 decide. So they need to be able to look at the field, see the defense coming in, and quickly do their reads and make a decision. So you need a decision maker, a natural leader, somebody who's able to course correct others and gain buy-in. They also have to stay cool under pressure. I've had way too many quarterbacks who were hot-handed, who were awesome, and then all of a sudden they throw an interception and they're gone for the rest of the the game. So it's not just about talent, it's also about their resilience and their grit. So let's recap here. I've got my center who's usually a little bit newer. Maybe they're not the most athletic, but I am feeding them, and I've made sure that they understand that they have a huge part in every single play. What they do is distracting the defense, whether they're getting the ball or not. They play a huge role in whether that play is successful or not. Then I've got my wide receivers on the outsides here. Sometimes they're going to be in different positions, but they've got the hands. They've got the route running. They care. They're hungry. They're going up for that ball, and they're executing that play and getting open. Then we have our running back one. This is B. They are cutting up and down the field. They're working on their moves all the time. They are running down the sideline, maybe cutting up the middle of the field. They don't have to have the best hands, but you can't catch them. My A over here, my running back two, this is my faker. They are the decoy, but they're also getting open, usually in the flat or somewhere that's a little bit unexpected, but they can be your playmaker, almost like Kelsey, finding the hole in the defense, getting open and making a big play. And then of course your quarterback, that's the leader on the field, able to help people get in the right positions, course correct as necessary, and they've got a vision of the field. They can see and they can make decisions quickly based off of what they're seeing. Now, I break all of this down at flagfootballwithcoachd.com. You can grab offense plays, defense plays, drills, practices, equipment, the wristbands, everything you need to be the complete coach. Look, thanks for coaching out there. If you like what you see, this is Coach D. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and share. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.